All right, let's jump right in. We've got a really cool case study to break down today, and it gets right to the heart of a problem we see all the time in manufacturing, all the money that's just disappearing in plain sight. We're going to show you how a pretty simple AI solution turned these hidden losses into real, visible profits.
And it all really comes down to one big question for anyone who's running a production line. Are you actually counting what really counts? Because so often what we find is there's this huge blind spot in the process, a gap where value is just leaking out and nobody's even measuring it.
We call this the invisible production gap. It's that no man's land between when a product gets made and when it finally gets packaged up. For a poultry farm we worked with, this wasn't just some theory. It was a real place where profits were literally vanishing every single day.
So, picture this. At this particular farm, they're producing thousands and thousands of eggs. They knew exactly how many went into the boxes at the very end of the line. But that whole journey before that, from the hen all the way to the carton, the actual raw production before it gets packaged, well, that was a complete black box. Zero data, no idea. They had no real way of knowing how many eggs were getting lost or broken along the way. They were flying blind. And let me be clear, this isn't just an egg problem. We see this with bottling, with pharmaceuticals, with component manufacturing, you name it.
So how do you solve a problem you can't even see? Well, you give your production line eyes. And not just any eyes. We're talking about an AI eye that sees absolutely everything. The solution is powerful, it's elegant, and it's actually surprisingly simple to get up and running.
And the whole process is incredibly simple. Step 1, the client just gives us some video footage of their line. That's it. Step 2, we take that video and we use it to train a neural network. Basically, we're teaching the AI not just to see an egg, but to give each one a unique ID and track it as it moves. And step 3, we just install the software on their computer remotely. That's the whole thing. No big disruptive on-site installation, no new expensive hardware.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking, especially if you're a production manager or a business owner. You hear AI and you think, this sounds expensive. This sounds like specialized, high-cost hardware. Well, let's just bust that myth wide open right now.
So many people think you need a NASA-level supercomputer to do this kind of real-time analysis. The reality? This entire solution, tracking 3 different conveyor belts at the same time, runs perfectly on a single NVIDIA GTX 1660. We're talking about a standard, off-the-shelf gaming graphics card, the kind of thing a teenager might have in their gaming PC. This is a total game changer, and it makes powerful AI something that almost any business can afford.
Okay, so it's accessible, but does it actually work? This is where we get to what I like to call the wow factor. Let's talk about the results, because they are genuinely impressive. We are talking near perfect accuracy and unbelievable scalability. The final system hit a staggering 99.9% accuracy rate. Just think about that for a second. That's like having your best supervisor watching every single egg 24/7 without ever blinking, ever getting tired, or ever taking a coffee break. That is the level of reliability we're talking about here. Now check this out. This is where the return on investment just goes through the roof. We only had to train the AI on video from one of their production lines. But the model was so smart, it generalized so well, that we deployed that same exact software across all 3 of the farm's lines, and it still held that 99.9% accuracy. You train it once and it works 3 times as hard. That is the power of scalable software. So here's the bottom line. A super accurate count is great, but what does it actually do for the business? This is where the whole system goes beyond just counting things and becomes a tool for turning data directly into dollars.
Yeah, this isn't just about counting, it's about intelligence. The client now gets an automated report every single day that pinpoints exactly where and when these losses are happening. Is there a junction on conveyor 2 that's causing breakage? Is it happening more on the night shift? They can finally answer these questions with hard data, not just guesswork. And this system sets them up for the future. The same camera can be used to add color sorting or maybe even crack detection down the line.
So this brings it all back to your facility. Every single operation has an invisible gap somewhere, a point of friction, a blind spot where you're losing efficiency and profit. The question is, where is yours? And what could you do if you finally had the data to see it clearly?
The first step is just identifying that gap. If you think there's a part of your process that you're just not seeing, let's have a conversation. Every production line is different, but the principle is always the same, turning those unseen losses into measurable gains. Reach out to CamContador and let's start building a custom solution for you.